All right, guys. So this question comes up probably, I don't know, every week, every 2 weeks from docs that I talk to. And the question is, how much money do I have to spend on marketing to make whatever the goal might be? Whether it's 10K a month, 20K, 50K, like what do I have to put in a machine to pull out? And so there's so many variables that it is an impossible um, prediction. Like I don't have a crystal ball, but I know what metrics to look for. And so in this video, I'm going to kind of walk you through what some of that stuff looks like. Now, remember, I'm Google heavy. I am YouTube heavy. I use Facebook mainly for B2B, but also for retargeting of the clicks that come from Google and YouTube. Remember, Google and YouTube, search engines, people are hunting for help. Okay, they're actively hunting, which means they're probably in a worse off position. Like they're urgent. There's more urgency to hunt for a doctor that's or a practitioner that can solve my problem, whatever that problem might be. And so that's what we do as direct response functional medicine marketers is that we step in front of it. I'm not a blogging guy. I'm not an SEO guy. I'm not a content creator. I'm not pushing a ton of content out there. It's like direct response. So somebody's searching thyroid and boom, top spot, number one thyroid specialist. They click on it and then they kind of come into my ecosystem. And so here's what that looks like. And hopefully this will provide some clarity. So there's so many niches. Like I wish, or not, there's so many variables that I wish I could say, yep, you can put in $5,000 and you can flip it into 20,000. You can put in 10,000, you can flip it into 50,000. Possible, right? Those numbers are congruent and realistic. Like I had a doc, this is a long time ago, but he was like, his goal was about $100,000. He wanted to have six-figure months, like $100,000 a month. And I was like, well, what's your marketing budget? 20, 30 bucks a day. I'm like, not congruent, right? There's no way that's going to happen. So as long as it's congruent, like 5K is a good marketing spend, but you don't have to spend that much. You might want to spend, 1K, 2K, whatever the budget is. But let me walk you through some variables. So variable number one is the niche that you go down. Weight loss is going to be more expensive than diabetes, is more expensive than neuropathy. Like I've done so many of these, I've been immersed in this ad world for almost 2 decades that I know the cost for various conditions. Gut is very, very inexpensive. Autoimmune is very, very inexpensive. But when you start talking about like food sensitivity testing, now you're closer to $10 a click because there's a lot of competition. So more expensive on that one. Migraines, you're going to be probably $4-5 a click. Weight loss, $4-5 a click. More competition. I think with migraines, you're competing with Imitrex and some pharmaceutical stuff. But there's some really inexpensive ones that you can really scale quickly, and diabetes being one of them. Diabetes, thyroid is another one that I love. Roughly, my thyroid stuff hangs right around $1 a click, so thyroid is good. So again, niche number one or variable number one is what niche are you going down, because that determines cost per click. Like what are you spending per click to get somebody into your funnel, into your webinar, your masterclass, your direct response funnel, your challenge funnel, your workshop, whatever it is that you have, as your call to action. What are you spending to get them into your ecosystem? Cost per click. It might be $5 a click. If you're a personal injury attorney, it might be $50 a click. Right? Google knows what a click is worth on the back end. So if you're a personal injury attorney, you might spend $50 a click. If you're a plastic surgeon, you might spend a ton of money on a specific click because they know what that patient is worth to that business. Okay. However, thyroid, inexpensive. It's cheap. So there's probably less competition there, and you can make a big dent. So cost per click. For me, I like hanging right around the buck. Under $2, you're going to be good. $3-4, okay, a little bit higher. But if you can get something, if you can get into a niche, gout, for example, right? Buck a click roughly. If you can get into a specific condition that hangs right around a buck, $2, $1 to $2 per click, that's the world I've lived in, and it's a good place. All right. Then the next variable becomes cost or click-through rate. Okay. Now this is where things get a little bit tricky. Click-through rate is one of the biggest metrics, one of the most important metrics when running ads, when running Google ads. It's like, because let's say there's 4 spots at the very top, four spot. They have ads for 4 different businesses. Okay, 4 doctors, for example. Let's say somebody doesn't click on yours. They click on others around yours. They skip it. That kind of is a ping against you. So there is some SEO that goes into click-through rate as well. So like you want to have good headlines. You want to have good description. You want to have good keywords. You want to keep people on your funnel as long as possible. That's why when you look at my funnel page, my websites, typically have a video at the top. That's maybe 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. Because if I can keep somebody on that page for several minutes, that's a very good user experience. Google is going to reward me. Cost per click comes down. And I from an SEO perspective, my ad might climb to the number 1. And the opposite of that is somebody hits your funnel, they leave after 3 seconds because it's ugly, there's no videos, it's like, wow, this sucks. They leave, then Google's going to spank you, and they can bury you on, even if you're spending ads, even if you're spending them, giving them money. Just because you're giving Google money doesn't mean they have to show your ad to anybody. They might stick you on page 3. The whole first page is organic, free stuff, and then all your ad is buried because your click-through rate sucks. I don't want to get too much deeper into the click-through rate stuff, but you have to make things congruent across the board. Like I used to run ads like ADHD as keyword, and then I would roll them into a food sensitivity testing website, thinking that that they understand the gut-brain connection, and they don't. Right? If somebody's searching ADHD, you don't want to sort of bait and switch them into a service that you think they need. That bridge, you can't bridge that gap. So you want to make sure everything's congruent across the board. So you want good headlines that people click on, right? I like numbers in my head, number 1 or 100% free, whatever. I like numbers. So good headline, good description, keywords that are congruent throughout, and then a funnel page that is congruent with what they're clicking for. So as long as everything's congruent from top to bottom, that should get you a good click-through rate where you're not going to spend more money than you should be. I was going to mention one other thing about click-through rate is that, how do I explain this? Like if you're competing with somebody else, like let's say you're competing, like here's thyroid doctor number 1, thyroid doctor number 2, and Google's an auction, so it comes down to how much you're willing to spend. But this is more important. Click-through rate is more important than what you're saying. You could tell Google, hey, I'm willing to spend $10 a click. And the next person comes along and say, I'm willing to spend $3 per click. Okay? You're at 10, they're at 3, it's an auction. Google likes this better. But if their click-through rate is way here and your click-through rate sucks, it doesn't matter how much you're willing to tell Google I want to spend. If they're getting 5 times the click-through rate, they're making 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. They're making 15 over here, 10 over here. If it's a 1 to 5 click-through rate ratio, makes sense. So that's why it's so crucial to have good ads that look good, that you're getting clicks, and you're rolling them through the system. All right. Conversion rates. This gets into your funnel and what that thing converts at. Now there's different calls to action. Call to action could be a discovery call. It could be a come on into my workshop, my challenge, my virtual event, free. If you have a brick and mortar, it might be a free examination or consultation, evaluation, something like that. So for me, my funnels generally convert about 2 to 3% on the direct response discovery call stuff. Okay, 2 to 3%, which means if I give, let's talk fuzzy math in terms of thyroid. If I give Google $100 for thyroid clicks, and I get 100 visitors, because let's say it's $1 a click, of those 100 visitors, I'll probably get 2 to 3 people booking a discovery call. It's just coming right into my discovery call page, my direct response funnel, where it's like, hey guys, this is thyroid. This is why it's so poorly managed. Here's what we do. Here's why we're unique and different. Here's why we get such great results. Here's your next step if you want to get this thing fixed or solved. If you want this thyroid puzzle solved, click here for a free discovery call, no cost, no obligation, simply a chance for me to ask you questions. You can ask me questions. Together, we can determine if what we have would make sense for you. So it's a quick 5-minute thyroid video, and then into my discovery call. And going back to the fuzzy math, 100 clicks, let's say you get 2 to 3% conversions. let's say 3 people book a call, 3 out of 100. And I'd say close to, I'm not going to talk what I charge for case fees in this video, but you're going to be making a hell of a lot more money than $100. So as long as we can put in 100 and flip it into something more substantial, that's the game we play, right? It's a game of traffic and conversions. Traffic, easy. We step in front of it. We pay for ads. Again, I don't care about posting. I'm not going to worry about organic stuff. I'm not trying to rank anything. I'm trying to step in front of the people that are actively hunting for help. Okay, so traffic, and then it's conversions, and this is where most practitioners fall short, is that their website looks like a dang digital brochure. It's built by a graphic designer. It was not built by a marketer. You want funnels and sales funnels that are built by marketers, not by graphic designers. I've run a lot of ads for a lot of doctors over the years, and they have some beautiful looking websites that don't convert worth a diddly poo, right? So you want good headline, discover by blah, blah, blah. Headline, subheadline, video, call to action. Yeah, you can put more content below that, that's fine, but testimonials, that's all good, but that's the framework that I use. And then the other variable is how good are you on the phone if you're doing this virtually? Or do you have the ability to close folks over the phone at a very high percentage? I mean, I close probably north of 85% of the people that I talk to. If I talk to 10 people, 8 or 9 of them are going to do something. No, there might be some toggling up, toggling down, working with them, maybe spreading out some payments if they're in a tough place, but that's another variable. Like, you know, it affects how much money you're going to make at the end of the month is your ability to close patients either over the phone or at the end of a workshop if you're doing like medium ticket stuff, which is where I'm headed. So taking me out of the equation, I'm not going to get into that, but my future is sort of more automated, evergreen stuff, course stuff where I don't have to be glued to my phone 24/7. I've taken thousands of discovery calls and I'm just a little burnt on them. Just me. That's the path I've been down, a little fried. So I'm kind of pivoting more towards evergreen course stuff where I can still help folks, but it's removing me from the equation without having a bunch of salespeople to worry about. And you know. All right, next variable is case fee. Are you doing high ticket? Are you doing medium ticket? Are you doing low ticket? What are you doing as far as your case fees? Because that affects how much you make. So getting back to that original question is how much money do you have to put into the machine to make this? Again, I mean, how much are you charging? I mean, if your goal is $20,000 and let's say you charge a $5,000 plan, you know, probably easier to get there in some aspects, but probably harder in other aspects. So how much is your case fee? I mean, for me, I'm medium ticket, so I have to make up for in volume what I might miss out on hitting a home run of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 case fee. So that's the other variable. How much are you charging? So I know I wish I had I wish I had a crystal ball, and I wish I could say, hey, yep, put in 5,000, you'll make 20, and we can rinse and repeat and do that all day long. Put in 10, and we make 50. Okay, but it doesn't work that way. It's a game, right? Marketing, I'm just going to be honest with you. Marketing is glorified gambling. But we're strategic about it. We have to know these numbers, and we need to know what we're looking for so that we can sort of get in there and look at the data and make modifications as we need to. Like if we're running ads and we're not getting the clicks that we need, okay, we need to affect the, tweak the ad. Let's change the headline. Let's change the description. Let's change the keywords. We need to modify some things. If we're getting a lot of clicks, but nobody's doing anything, nobody's booking calls, okay, now we got to modify the funnel. We got to fix that. And what we have is very, very effective because I use it. So we have to, address the funnel if we're not getting conversions. And then if we're getting conversions, getting people on the phone, and we can't close them, then your day one and day two are broken, or at least your day one is broken. Like, what are you saying? Are you talking too much? 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Let's be a good listener. And that's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Just listen. That's getting into my day one, day two trainings. But so your ability to close, and then are you charging an enormous amount, or are you kind of medium to low ticket? That's kind of where I land. So, all right, hopefully this training was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to scroll in the description and I'll put some more stuff in YouTube. So if you want to go deeper with what we have with the functional practice or my accelerator stuff, I'll put a link to my niche launch challenge. So if you want to go from, it's a 5-day challenge, it's 100% free, but basically going from selecting a condition, selecting a niche into, funnel build out into, more math and metrics and marketing and different things that we have. So that's a 5-day challenge, 100% free. Just get in there. I'll put a link to that. And then, and I also have my challenge course. That's brand new. How we take people through a 5-day, or usually my clinical stuff is a 3-day virtual event. You can call it a workshop, you can call it a challenge, whatever you want. But that is gold. That's what helped me kind of put wrap up my 2 Comma Club, basically $1 million through one funnel. And we did that through the challenge framework of self-liquidating the front end of the funnel and sort of medium ticket, moving out high ticket. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to write an entire book on how I did 1 comma or 2 comma in a short period of time. I wouldn't say it hasn't taken me many years to do that, but it was you have to get your frameworks down. Once your framework is down, you're golden, right? And it's a fun game. So just got to get around the right people. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions, drop them below, and I will see you next time.